pad thai. More like splat thai. Shit. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Light Show. My name is Matt Worldly, and today I desire to say, be unapologetically yourself. Because when we do that, we develop a relationship with self-love. And that's what today is going to be about. It's going to be about self-love and the opposite of self-love and what happens when we lack self-love. But before we start today's episode, I want to do a little experiment. I want to show you guys my balls. Now, chill out, okay? I think you're going to love the way my balls look. So let me show you. This is a brand new glass case that I got at Goodwill, and this is where I store all my glass balls. And all of these glass balls are for creating organic visual works of art. And I believe that these organic visuals that I create have tremendous healing effects on the mind. So I'm going to read some affirmations about self-love, and I want you to watch this video that I created with my new ball. Let me show it to you. This is my latest ball. It's like one of the biggest balls I have. And I want you guys to just relax. Don't take your eyes off the screen. Take nice deep breaths and enjoy this. We'll be back in just a minute. When we practice being unapologetically ourselves, we develop a stronger sense of self-love. When we possess more self-love, we have more love to share with the world. Self-love is a superpower that enables us to see through darkness. Self-love gives us more confidence to use our voice because we are less concerned with opinions. Self-love gives us courage to make difficult decisions. Self-love grants us freedom to be whoever we desire. Self-love makes us more aware of our judgments toward others. Self-love helps us develop a deeper relationship with unity. Self-love teaches us how to show compassion for those who struggle. Self-love allows us to embody more presence in the face of adversity. Self-love is a frequency that removes us from the mundane and transcends us into new life. When we do not love ourselves, we give love away to those who do not appreciate it. When we lack self-love, we are easily taken advantage of. When we lack self-love, we become prey for evil. When we lack self-love, we settle for less than what we truly deserve. When we lack self-love, we start to believe in lies. When we lack self-love, we let others decide what's best for us. When we lack self-love, we sabotage ourselves. When we lack self-love, we develop a victim mentality. When we lack self-love, we are easily manipulated. When we lack self-love, we become more like the world and less like the universe. Welcome back, beautiful humans. I hope that video has set the tone for you. because I have a lot to say, and I think you're going to love it. First, I want to talk about my journey with being unapologetically myself. I realize that this is not easy for everyone, and I want to thank the powers that be for my unique ability to go through most of my life not really giving a shit what anybody thinks of me. Now, obviously, that's not 100%. I'm not perfect in that regard, but there is a lot about me that stands out that I would like to share because I think it's very interesting. And the first thing I want to say is, I did not realize I was what some would consider balding until I was in my maybe mid-20s. I was in Hawaii and I was on a treadmill or something, and I was checking my Instagram, and somebody just decided to talk shit on one of my videos, and they were just like, "You're a balding asshole," you know? And when I read that, I was like, balding? I'm like, wait, what? And then for the first time, you know, in my mid-20s, I went and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, is that what that is? I mean, I don't know. I kind of always just thought this was just the way I was. You know, I never considered myself, never thought, hey, you have a big forehead, Matt Worldly. I never thought, Matt Worldly, oh my God, you're balding in your mid-20s. How will you ever get laid? Never crossed my mind. It was only until someone tried to intimidate me or insult me, I was like, wait a minute, what? And I find a lot of beauty in that because when I discovered that I was, or, you know, still, it's uncomfortable for me to say that I'm balding. I don't even look at myself as being bald. But what I love about myself and being unapologetically myself is that after I found that out, I didn't join Hair Club for Men, right? I didn't wear hats all the time to cover up my baldness. I wore hats because I like to wear hats. I didn't shave my head and just say, you know what, maybe I'm going to be a bald guy my whole life. No. I just took complete ownership of just the way my hair grows, right? And because of that, I've got this cool thing going on where it's like kind of looks like buffalo horns or wings or maybe if they're little Satan horns. Who knows what the fuck they are. But I like to call it my mad scientist hair. And had I been too concerned with people's comments or opinions or perception of me, then my hair would have never grown to look like this. And to be frank, I absolutely love it. I think it's probably some of the most sexiest hair in the world. In fact, there are many times where I've seen myself on the cover of GQ magazine just like, right? Because I love my hair so much. So that's one example. The other example, this one's a little bit more intense, but my nails. For as long as I can remember, I have grown my nails like this. They haven't always looked this sexy and like almond shaped and sharp. I only started doing that for the past probably like 3 years. But when I was in middle school and elementary school, my nails would just grow and grow and grow. And my dad, he didn't like it. As a matter of fact, he hated it. And when I shot this video last night, I spoke unfiltered and said, was telling you guys exactly what he said. I decided to leave that out because he doesn't deserve that. He is a fantastic guy. We get along, and nobody, deserves to, bring up stuff from the past. The world is already judgmental enough. He's been through enough. Let's just leave the guy alone. But I will be frank. I will be honest, and I will say that my dad said some really mean, derogatory shit about my nails. And it was, related to maybe say homosexuality, okay? And I was younger. I was in middle school. And he was taking me home. And we were in the car. And after that happened, I got upset, But there was a part of me that was just like, this guy just doesn't get it. This guy doesn't understand. And I continued through life to grow my nails and not succumb to someone else's judgment about something that I absolutely love about myself, which are my nails. And like finding out about the hair and not joining Hair Club for Men or joining, Bald People Anonymous, I never considered my nails to be feminine. Even to this day, I do not label or categorize my nails as feminine. I categorize them as me, an extension of my limitless, creative personality. Whoever I am supposed to be in this world, I take complete ownership of it. These are my nails. This is how they look. Love it or hate it. I don't care. And the same goes for, let's say, my teeth. Rawr! I got these weird, sharp-ass, like, tiger teeth. My mom, when I was younger, she said, Matthew, let's get you some braces. I said, you know what? I'm good. To this day, when I smile, my teeth, I don't think that I have weird teeth. I think my teeth are completely normal. And as I progress and become an adult and evolve as an artist, I realize that all these things that I was very unapologetic about, they have really shaped my identity and contributed to what I like to call my destiny, And I believe that every single one of us is an alien from another planet. We come through the womb, but before the womb, we are spirits or stardust flying around in space, and for all we know, we could have come from light years away and ended up on this planet. So there's absolutely no way that we're going to be 100% masculine, 100% feminine, 100% normal, or not 110% weird. I mean, we just have to accept that, And the next thing I want to say is, I had this idea last night that, like, the evolution of self is like a pie, right? It's like a pizza. There's 8 slices. And as we get older, let's say the first 4 years is 1 slice, the next slice is the next 4 years. Each one of these pieces of pizza, even though it's the same piece of pizza or the same piece of pie, each pizza is a different flavor. It has a different topping. And we learn about ourselves as we get older. And some of these flavors, we step into, we take a bite of, we're like, whoa, what's this? I didn't realize that this was a part of me. And I see there's a dysfunction right now in the world. And that dysfunction is that when young people and even middle-aged people are discovering these unique pieces of their own pie, they are quick to become that one slice. Because the world is filled with so much adversity and we just want to protect ourselves from anybody trying to judge us, we jump into this most adverse, complex part of ourselves, and then we think that that's all we are. And we forget about the rest of our pizza pie. And the most beautiful thing about life and pizza is that there's more than one slice to it. There's so much to consume. There's so much to learn, not only about the outside world, but about ourselves. And the more we learn about ourselves and the more we take ownership of ourselves, the more likely we are to inspire other people who are facing adversity. And that's why it's so important to take ownership of ourselves. Now, the opposite of not taking ownership of yourself is that lack of self-love that I talked about earlier. And when there is a lack of self-love, we feel weak. And when we feel weak, we grasp on to things that don't serve us. And eventually, those things that don't serve us, they become ideologies, they become belief systems, and we frame our identity around our weaknesses. And let me stay on track here. What are you trying to say, Matt Worldly? What are you trying to say? And here it is. And I want to take a moment to honor you. And I desire to honor your weaknesses and the ways of being that you are choosing to live as a way to protect yourself and to protect these weaknesses so that you aren't judged for them. Whether there's a bunch of examples. I could just speak from like a personal perspective. Being addicted to weed, was a really intense protective mechanism for me. Binge eating food, eating way too much food, gaining a lot of weight was a way for me to, build a protective layer around myself. And in this moment, I desire to, whatever your protective layers are, whatever coping mechanisms that you've developed over the years, I just want to honor them and say that they are absolutely beautiful because they have protected you. And the fact that you are intelligent enough to find these things and shield them from the outside world so that you face less adversity, I think that's really beautiful. And in the same breath, the next thing I want to say is I desire to give you permission to relinquish yourself from these protective ways of living, because nothing is here to hurt you when you become unapologetically yourself and you form a deeper relationship with self-love. In relation to that, I desire to speak to the fact that our upbringing and our parents have tremendous effects on our psychology. Psychology runs so deep, it is literally incomprehensive, one of those things. But without getting too far into that, and to just simplify my point, one of the reasons why I forgave my dad for all of our differences, because we have to realize that our parents are just a product of their parents and their environment. And whenever they project shame on us or hatred or unworthiness, it is not because of us. It is not our fault. We are just sounding boards for their trauma, for their pain. And that's why I desire to say, if there's somebody in your life that you're having a really hard time forgiving, maybe see it from the perspective of they're suffering and they're in pain, so they just tried to inflict that pain on you because it's all they know. So I would encourage you not to internalize any of the traumatic events that you have experienced in your life, because there's just a product of hurt people hurting people. And when we find forgiveness, we set ourselves free from victimization and trauma. And I realize that that's a lot easier said than done. And I'm not a professional, but I can offer some tips around meditation and mantras and doing art to kind of connect with these emotions, transmute them, and set them free. If you want to know a little bit more, or you just have questions for me and just want to chat, DM me, message me. I would love to see you. I would love to honor you, okay? All right. This seems like a very personal episode, right? So let's take it 10 layers deeper. Let's play a little game. You guys have heard of a Q&A, right? Let's play TMI, all right? I, Matt Worldly, not the straightest guy on earth, all right? There's a part of me that is pretty gay sometimes, all right? And hi, Mom and Dad. Yeah, first time they're hearing this. First time the world is hearing this. But I'm doing it to bring up a really good point. Throughout my life, as I have discovered my sexual identity, I've been very unapologetic about it. To myself, I've not been very confused about it. As a matter of fact, I own it. I own the shit out of it, if you can't tell. But one thing that I will never do is I will never label myself as bi, as gay, as trans, as homosexual, as queer. I will never do any of those things. I will never become attached to any labels, because labels starts with a little letter L, and L stands for limitations. And when we put labels on ourselves, we limit ourselves. When we use pronouns, we limit ourselves because we box ourselves into a category, and then we group ourselves with people, and then we become indifferent, and we gain this weird tribal mentality, and then it's us against the world, right? And it seems almost productive to walk around in shirts that are like queer and like rainbows forever. But the truth is, when we become too attached to these labels and identities, then we lose track of the totality of who we are and what we have to offer to the world, which is why I will never label myself anything other than Matt Worldly, alien wizard scientist, weird dude from somewhere far, far away on the other side of the universe. And I think it's really important for me to say this because the youth right now is on this kick where they think that this pronoun thing and these labels are progressive, but it's not. It's actually the exact opposite. It inhibits us from embracing the totality of our pizza pie, right? And our youth are some of the most brilliant minds. As humanity progresses farther, right? Earth is like this very intelligent being. Space is like this very intelligent entity. And as more people are birthed, it knows what the world needs. So it sends, the descendants from all across the galaxy to Earth to assert themselves as unapologetic all-stars, star beings, right? And the powers that be know this. They know that as time goes on, the youth is going to get smarter and sharper. We're going to be living our dreams more. We're not going to give a fuck about regular and part-time jobs. We're going to think outside the box. We're going to become creatives, and we're going to be absolutely unstoppable. So they try to trick us into these little games of thinking that pronouns are progressive when it's the exact opposite. So I don't really think I need to get into that. For me, it's just very obvious. And I just want to encourage you that if you are one of those people, that revolves their personality or feels empowered by pronouns, I just want to let you know from my heart, we as a planet are being tricked. And I think a really good way to transition into my next topic, my next point, is the year 2020. The year 2020, I like to consider, is the year of perfect vision. When we go to the eye doctor and he does the little test and he says, you've got 20/20 vision. You know what that means? That means you see clearly. You are dialed. You are sharp. You see exactly what you need to. And I think that cosmically, planetarily, something aligned. Our ancestors over time have been tracking the events, world events over time. They look into the sky and they say, this year, this is going to happen. And in documents and tablets and scripture, they were accurate. Okay? So them being able to do that has never stopped. It's just taken on a different face. It's taken on a different style. It's taken on a different approach. So the powers that be nowadays are fully aware that 2020 was going to be the year when all of us would be able to see ourselves so clearly, to see the depth of our potential, the depth of our alien self, the depth of our cosmic being, and blossom faster than ever. And I'm speaking from personal experience. And if you feel that way too, if it's something alive that woke up inside of you in 2020, then I want to encourage you to speak about it. And I think this whole COVID shit happened right in 2020, right? Said, stay inside your house. Don't go outside. God forbid, don't exercise. Don't eat any fruit, because that would be bad. They say, stay inside your house. Well, let's say that this cosmic alignment was really spectacular and it required us to be outside, like this. Yes, feed me, show me, give me the light. I'm here to receive my higher self. Thank you. Right? Does that give you goosebumps when I say that? Do I sound like a psychopath? Does that sound weird? Are you like, my grandma died in the COVID thing? I'm not trying to offend anybody, all right? We all know that there was some weird, tricky, evil shit going on, okay? And that's my reasoning for why it was weird and tricky, is because there was this great awakening, and they wanted to try and shield us from it. So I'm standing before you as somebody who realized that and said, nope, I'm not falling for any of this. I'm not falling for any of these labels, for any of these groups. I'm not falling for any of it. I'm staying in my sovereignty. I'm staying in my power. I'm staying unapologetically me, and I am choosing love over fear. Okay, let's wrap this up. Let me say that by the end of this video, I hope you are feeling like you are on a mission to embrace your flaws as your greatest gifts. Because when we do that, again, our most negative thing we could possibly see of ourselves, if we cover that up with something or we alter our bodies, then maybe we can't reach or inspire or connect with the people who are also having similar problems, similar issues, similar struggles. So when we take ownership of who we are, directly or indirectly, other people who are on the same page as us, who maybe are, some from the same faraway galaxy, who knows, they see us and they say, thank you for taking ownership of your baldness. I have been struggling with that for years. Thank you for taking ownership of your body and just loving yourself for who you are, because I've struggled with that for so long. And right now, we have to liberate each other through inspiration, through self-love, through being absolutely, unapologetically ourselves. I hope this video finds you well. I hope you have an incredible weekend. I love you. Until next time, peace.